I wanted to go over a book with you and just share some stuff. Hello, friends. Um, it's an interesting book, and I don't know if you know about this, but Glastonbury has been successfully previously called YNNIS WITRIN, Isle of Avi. That's Avillon, and Isle of Avalon. The reason I find this so interesting is you're not taught this in church or in school and much in religious classes. I find it fascinating, and we might have more than one part to this. But John Harding, in his chronicle, um, says that it was also constantly called Mutrin or Mutrine, same thing but different spelling. So Meutryen. The point is, I'm talking about how religion came to England. But the well-known names are Eunice Witrin, Yinniswitrin, two different names, Y U no Yinnis dash WITRYN, Avalon and Glastonbury. Eunice, I'm just going to call it that, of Witrin is generally supposed to be a crystal or glassy isle. What do you think about that? Some of you with different religions and some of us with different religions have heard of something that's kind of glassy. And um, think about that pertaining to whatever your religion you're in. Because I'm not going to bring up religions, but I find that religions are all connected. And so, anyway, I find this interesting. Um, so, if you have something in your church history or your church background, if you go way back and it says something about this, you go, oh, it connects right here in Britain too. So it says it's an isle of departed spirits. I'm going to say that again. Eunice, Witrin, I don't know if that's how you say it. That's how I'm going to say it. Avalon and Glastonbury is generally supposed to be a crystal or glassy isle, Isle of Avalon, at Avilion, Isle of Departed Spirits, Isle of Avalon, and that one is Avalon, Isle of Apples. The later being Saxon corruption of Avi, the Avi, and certainly the place excels in apples. I guess it has a lot of apples. It is not strictly correct to pronounce the T in Glastonbury. So, we might have a tendency to say Glastonbury because that's how it's spelled, right? But really, Glastonbury, looking up to see if my cats are there. And it has often been spelled Glassenbury. And the reason I'm saying that is if you do your own research, you'll be able to look it up at different things and draw different information by how you spell it. If the usual interpretation of Eunice, Ynnis, this is a separate word, WITRYN, comma, glassy or crystal isle be accepted, the inn in Glastonbury may well be Yennis or Innis, so they do it also with ENNIS, and Glasson, a muddled corruption of Innis Isle, Wittrin, crystal with the Saxonbury or borough tacked on. Such jumbles of different languages do take place in English place names. For instance, some 3 miles from Glastonbury are West Pinnard, and West Pinnard, Pennard, hill. Pin means hill, and means hill. And so when we say West Pinnard Hill, we are using 3 languages to call it hill, hill, hill. Now, I don't know if I'm not being completely in this video, but if you look at how the Jewish people, I know, like bit here, right? Jewish people, how they repeat things. So, like in the scriptures, you see, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't want to bring up religions again, but in the scriptures, and we can use all kinds of scriptures here, but in the scriptures, you'll hear whoa, whoa, whoa. And whoa, whoa, whoa means, ooh, that's big. And so you see here that this is kind of an important place in Britain, and they're using it the same way. They're going hill, hill, hill. Like they're trying to really make a point that this place is important. Um, anyway, I'm going to go over this book another time because I really don't want to keep you, and it's 5 minutes, so I'm going to go 4 more minutes because I find 9 minutes is good. Um, so the explanation just offered of the name Glastonbury is not impossible, but quite different explanation are offered. So I just recommend this book so much. Um, it goes through the history. But one of the things I wanted to talk about too is because a lot of Christians will say St. Patrick's Day is not a holiday, it is not a Christian thing, but he's a real person. The Venerable Bede, writing about AD 740, says the Britons preserved the faith which they had received under King Lucius, uncorrupted and continued in peace and tranquility under the time of the Emperor Diocletian, Diocletian, that the venerable Bede, Bede, does not refer to Saint Joseph is not surprising. Neither does he refer to Saint Patrick. It may be it may be pleaded that he was born and lived in the north. This would give more reason for the ignorance of Joseph than of St. Patrick, for the North owed too much to St. Patrick. Therefore, the two silences rather drive us to Professor Stokes' explanation, Ireland and the Celtic Church, page 29. In presence of the notice, Cumian's reference to St. Patrick's in AD 634 and his letter to the abbot of Iona, where he calls him St. Patrick our Pope. So you don't have to be worried, people, about St. Patrick being an evil kind of a thing because I guess he was a pope. The silence of St. Bed Arthur, sorry, I keep moving my hair because it's falling in my face, is of no account. He he was intensely Roman and despised the Celtic and patrician party in England and Ireland alike. Beds, Bede, silence about St. Patrick must have been proposed, very probably, therefore, that about St. Joseph was. That sounds interesting. Very probably, therefore, that about St. Joseph was. And it helps us to realize how the memory of a great and flourishing Celtic church was buried beneath the waves of heathen Saxon and Danish ravages and the Romanizing Norman influence until it was derived in the reign of King Henry II, by attention being drawn to Glastonbury and her two great stories by the discovery of the body of King Arthur. Above are at random a number of quotations from recognized authorities of the immense antiquity and apostolic origin of our national church. So, I mean, Christianity did come a lot of England. If you live in certain countries, we know that. So, if you live in the USA, the Pilgrims and a lot of people came over here, but there were peoples here. And some religions actually say they already had this gospel of God, um, the same gospel, Jesus Christ. Okay, we'll just say that people believe it's the same religion of Abraham. And it's just that it's further than the Old Testament, So you have the New Testament, and some people have a lot of books on this. So we might, if I run into even any other religion books that have things in common in scriptures, I want to bring it here and see if we can share um, how different religions have things in common. So the St. Patrick's, is very Catholic, right? And but some Christians will say he wasn't around, and or other religions, and it's a bad thing. But he was a real person. And before Christmas comes, we'll probably go over how St. Nicholas was too, so that we can not fight so much with each other, but realize we have a lot in common. We just believe different things in different sections. But how fun is it going to be to share what we have in common and everything? So, if you like this, I know it's kind of vague. We're just starting, and I didn't really get into the meat of it. But what this book is, Saint Joseph of Arimathea of Glastonbury. So I just find it, I've read some other books and skimmed over them on how the languages were different and how religions have come together. And you find that you'll see different religions interacting, you know, before we got to where we are now. And we don't realize what happened and what got us together. And goodness, we're so far apart now. You know, we're we can come back together again and we can enjoy the differences and still keep who we are and still get along and just wait for everyone's waiting for this Messiah. And I don't care what religion you are, right? All religions are waiting for Messiah. They say it in a different language, but it's the same thing. So maybe we can see the signs, enjoy things, and pray for each other and be there for each other. So good night, everyone. I hope you have a great night and thanks for joining. See ya.